Okay, guys. So basically, the first of the doubt that we have got is what are the probability distribution and how where they are used. So the sheet that I have provided you has all the probability distribution and the types when it can be used with the example with some examples as well. So if I'll say exponential distribution, this is on continuous data. Whenever we need to calculate the time between the events, say time when the order is placed and you will get a pizza, in getting a probability of that is the exponential distribution. F distribution is whenever we have continuous data and whenever we want to measure the variation, standard deviation amongst the sample, something to be known about the variation, something to be estimated about the variance, then we use F distribution. T distribution we have already done. Whenever we need to estimate the mean. Poisson distribution is for count data, that is discrete data. That is number of so when we need to count the number of things that are happening, the number of people that will be affecting from COVID tomorrow. So is the thing that can be used with the help of Poisson distribution. Binomial, whenever we have, it is also on discrete data when we have discrete data in form of a binomial form. So when we have two outputs, whether it's a defective or not a defective. Normal distribution is basically it's a systematic distribution curve which works on continuous data. So normal distribution we have covered in detail as well.
Sir?
Yeah.
So these are the distribution, right? And what we have studied was the t-test and the t-test, f-test and the ANOVA. So these test uses all these distribution.
T-test uses t-test uses t distribution.
Achha,
ANOVA uses F distribution.
okay.
And like the thing that we have seen and we will see today as well is basically the normal distribution, standard normal curve. So some of the examples we have covered through some of the live examples as well. So in a similar way, all of the distributions are used based on their applications.
Okay. So means if I have to calculate the probabilities for any event or any incident, I have to use among these distribution, probability distribution.
So it's not about probability. Yeah, it's about probability. So the first step is, let's example, you are estimating any of the thing. First, you need to understand which distribution it follows. So that's the concept of econometrics.
Okay.
Both. So econometrics is economics plus statistics. So let's example, if I'll say the demand of wheat in India, which distribution it follows? We don't know, but the economist knows. And when the economist knows that the demand follows, say, F curve, T curve, or whatever curve it is, exponential curve, what it is, then he will be able to estimate the probability. So I can only tell about 5, 6, 7 distributions, but there are more than 100 distributions in statistics. Now the expert of any of the thing knows to which of the problem, which distribution fits well. So if that person knows, then he uses that distribution to calculate the probability.
Sir, but for us, like in generally, when we have to solve any problem statement and we are given the question, how do we know that which distribution is to be followed?
So
like
that's the thing.
On...
So that's the thing I have told you. Whenever you get the data, when you have only two outcomes, then it is a binomial distribution. When we have the number as a count, say number of people, number of students, anything that is related to number is a Poisson distribution. Whenever it comes to time between event, then it is exponential distribution. Whenever you need to calculate the variance, then it is. So these are the distributions which I know I work with. So, but apart from this doesn't mean that if we have a problem, then this will be covered in these distributions only. But yeah, it is right. We know about these distributions, and if we'll stress more, we will cover 2, 3, 4 more distribution, but that won't be the end of it. There are more than 100 distributions that exist in statistics. If I'll open it, say, and I'll say, You see the list. So now this list is not ending. You see the number of distributions we have. So we have more than 100 distributions. So you see here, but the common ones are the ones which I have told you. Apart from that, there are any other distributions as well. Say, I'll say multinomial distribution, Baldwin-Nichols model, even some Dirichlet distribution, beta distribution, many more distributions are there. Johnson's SU distribution, Gumbel distribution, geometric stable distribution. So these distributions are nothing but the expert of these any of the economics knows which distribution fits on which type of data. So a person cannot be an expert in all the distributions. If a person is a domain expert, let's say example, you know about economic, you know about, say, let's say example, you're working in say the number of COVID patients in India, then it might be following a distribution. But now it will take time, and the statisticians or the economists will try to understand which distribution it follows and what will be the probability that the next person that will be coming will be a COVID patient or not. So these are the things that normally happens. You won't be able to cover all the distribution at any point of time.
Okay, sir. And sir, one more thing, sir. Hypothesis testing, I understood, sir, but actually these distribution hypothesis testing, I'm not able to correlate like these two.
So these are, so when we say hypothesis testing,
yes,
just give me a second. When we say about hypothesis testing is nothing but estimating a population from sample. So when we are estimating mean, we use T distribution. When we are estimating mean of more than 2 population, then we use ANOVA, which uses the F distribution. Whenever we are estimating the variance, we use the F distribution. And many more types as well. When we are estimating the proportion, then we use Z distribution. When
sir,
we are saying, yeah.
Sir, then it means that we are, inferring about the population using above distributions, like all these distributions.
Yeah, these distributions, because these distributions have the capability to predict the probability.
Yes.
So they are estimating the sample and telling about, so if they will be able to estimate the like the type of distribution the sample follows, which is always there when you calculate the mean, it is being estimated by t-test. So see, these are the simple things that we have. So with the help of these, we can estimate the mean of the population, or even more than the population.
Sir, over that, after the mean and calculating the variance, we also have, after calculating the p-value, we can infer about the historical data, like whatever it is trying to say. This is our main agenda.
No, not historical data, population. So
okay, yes,
yes. Historical data is totally different. Population is, so let's example, I have 5 students in class.
Okay.
If 5 students are asked, every student is asking 2 doubts, let's example, then will I be able to estimate that the average student in the class will be going for the 2 doubts? So here I have been trying to predict the mean. So then it will be a t-test that will be applied, and I will be estimating about the population of the entire students.
One sample t-test we will apply, right, sir?
Yeah, one sample t-test. Yes, you're right.
We have only one sample.
Yes.
Okay. And sir, after applying the t-test, we are getting the mean and all. And then we also see the p-value, right? And after seeing the p-value, we infer about the whole class.
Whole population.
We perform. Yes, this is how we perform.
Yeah, this is how we perform.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between normal distribution and standard normal distribution?
Okay, so that's the thing which I've been covering right now. Just be here with me on the screen. Okay, how many of you know or idea about astrology? I'll take an example if all of you have an idea. No one has?
No.
Okay. I'll take some other example then. Because it varies, it relates to that only. Okay. So now, whenever we say, whenever any of the distribution is being formed, say, so let's example, if I'll say how a human being looks alike. So how do you say? What will be your answer?
2 eyes, 1 nose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so we'll say every human being has 2 eyes, 1 nose, and all the things like whatever the features that we have. But will you be finding a human being with say with a single eye? Yeah, a person might have a single eye. A person might have some problem. Will you find a person with a single hand? Yeah. Will you find a person with 6 fingers? Yes. Will you be able to find a person with say a specs? Yes. But will that count that this is not a standard person?
We don't know, sir, what we are taking as a standard.
So I'm saying, when I say a standard human being has 2 eyes, okay, if I'll ask, but how a standard boy of 10 years look alike? Okay, I'll take a simple example. So the 10-year boy will have certain things. The boy has 2 eyes. The boy has height almost 4.5 feet, which I've been taking example. The boy has a weight of around 35 kgs. Okay, a 10-year-old boy, I'm saying. So this is one of the idealistic boy which I have made. Okay, now if I call 10 years boy, so that might deviate from the ideal that I have made. So the first boy that came has 2 eyes, but he wears specs. Okay, the second boy I called has all the things fine, but he has shaved his head, so the hairs are not there. The third boy which I called has a fat tummy, which means he's also not matching with the ideal guy. But does that mean all these 10 I've been calling are not boys? No. So that also goes with the normal distribution. If I draw a standard normal distribution, like this, it has this mean and median are 0, and it has 1, 2, 3 division to the right, and 1, 2, 3 division to the left. We'll say 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So this is an ideal of a distribution. That is a standard normal distribution, like a standard normal 10-year boy picture that we have made. Is it fine? Till now it's fine.
Yes, sir. So how
Now
do we donate, sir, the notation for standard?
so it's Z only. The standard normal distribution is being denoted by Z.
Z. Okay.
Z like this.
Z with a hyphen?
No, only Z, no hyphen.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now The example that we have taken last time, I will open that example. This one. No, it's not here. Okay, I'll take the example. So now, if we work on any problem, if we work on any problem, does that problem has mean 0, standard deviation 1?
No.
So what we will do in that case? So we convert it into a standard normal distribution. What we do, we convert it into a standard normal distribution. So how do we do that? We have a formula that normally says Z is equal to X minus mu divided by standard deviation. Just give me a second. Let me switch my interpret. Okay. Now, when we have a real problem, so during that real problem, what we do, we don't get that type of mean and standard deviation. So what we do, let's example. The example I have taken is what was the example? If anybody remember, or I'll take an example. So if I'll say the normal IIT in an IIT exam that is being conducted, so the average marks a person gets is say 500. The example that I've taken last time. The normal is the marks. How many marks the person gets? Say 500 marks. Now, if a person gets 500 marks with a standard deviation of say 10 or 12, whatever value I have taken. Anybody remember the value that I have taken? Anybody has a problem that I mentioned on that day?
No, sir, I don't have.
Okay, let me think about any problem so that I can relate it with that. So I will take an example. Okay, I will go to Excel sheet. I will say, so let's example, the average score that in an IT class, the average score a person's the average score which a person has is 500. This is the average score in IIT. Average score is 500 with the mean of 12 with a standard deviation so this is the mean with the standard deviation of 12. Okay, now knowing that it follows a normal distribution, we need to find what is the probability that particular person will be scoring. So okay, this will be scoring say 490. If a new person will come or a group of people will come, what is the probability that that person will scoring more than 490 marks? Okay, what is the probability of scoring more than 490 marks. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So now, what is the mean that I have? 500. What is standard deviation I have? 12. Okay.
Okay.
So now, in the formula which I have told you is Z. Now this distribution, if I'll plot here, has a mean of how much?
500.
500.
SD 12 means
SD
500.
of 12. So 12 here.
Yeah.
512, 524, 536. Same, minus 12, minus 24, minus 36. Is it fine?
So this
Yes,
is
sir.
not following the normal standard normal distribution, na? The graph you made right now.
So when I say standard normal distribution, it has a mean 0. So it
Okay,
is
okay.
following a normal distribution, but
Yes,
it
yes.
is not a standard normal. So we'll
Okay.
convert it into a standard normal distribution.
Okay.
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 Now what we will do is, now this particular problem that we have has a 500 is a mean, standard deviation is 12. So every time it is plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. So now this follows a normal distribution. What we need to do, we need to convert it into a standard normal distribution. To convert it into a standard normal distribution, we have this formula. I'll say Z is equal to X minus mu upon standard deviation. What is X?
490
490
minus 500 divided by
minus
12.
500 divided by 12. So let's example, I'll say it is a 488 for simplicity. How many people scored more than 488 marks? Okay, divide by 12. Okay. Now it will be minus 1.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now this means that I have converted it into a standard normal distribution, which has now the mean is 0, which was earlier 500.
Yes.
Thus the value that I need to find is 488. Is 488 here. Now this 488 has become minus 1. With me?
Why, sir?
Here only, na? I say 488. I said 488. So this is the value I need to find. How much? What is the area till here? This is the area I need to find. That is how many people will be scoring more than 488 marks. Is the thing the problem which I have right now?
Yes, yes.
So now, if it is 0, if 500 is 0, then 488 is minus 1. Is the thing which it has told me that now I need to find the area beyond or after minus 1.
But sir, how come minus 1 turned it as 488? I'm not getting.
So here only I said 488 minus 500 divided by 12.
Okay.
So I have converted it into a standard normal distribution.
Okay.
When 500 became 0, you see here, if say it is 460, then 460 will become minus 1 point something. If it is 400, it will become minus 5 point something, whatever the value it has become. So now it is coming to being converted into a standard normal curve.
Okay, okay. So you mean to say this minus 1 that we already had in standard deviation, 488 is just overlapping it here.
This actually means this 12 value, this value 12, this value 12 has become 1. So earlier the deviation, so try to understand the logic. Earlier the deviation that was 12. This was the deviation 12?
Yes.
Here, what is the deviation?
1.
So I want to confirm sigma is the standard deviation for normal deviation and Z is the standard deviation for standard normal deviation, right?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Please speak a bit loudly.
Standard deviation sigma is with for standard normal distribution and Z is the standard deviation for standard normal deviation.
No, so the thing is, when we say standard normal distribution, it has mean 0 and 3 deviation to the right, 3 deviation to the left, and every standard deviation is 1. So standard normal distribution has a mean 0 and standard deviation 1. In case any other distribution comes, it has any mean and any standard deviation. Now the target is to convert it into a standard normal distribution. I have been converting it into a standard normal distribution. I have made this. I said if it is 500, the standard deviation is 12. If I convert it into a normal distribution, and I need to find where this 488 value is falling on. Are you with me? So there are 3 things. If I'll convert this into a standard normal distribution, I will make this 500 0.
Yes.
I will make this 12 1.
Yes. Plus
So-
minus 1.
Yeah. So I have made 0 and this 12 has become 1 and 488 is falling on this area now. 488 is falling here. Exactly on the value of minus 1
Minus
deviation.
1. Yes, sir.
So this is 0. The standard, this value is the minus 1. This was earlier, if it would have been in this distribution, then it will be 500 minus 12.
Yes.
That is 488 only. You see.
So that's
Now-
when we scale down that all data points so that we can do calculation very easily.
Yeah. Now, because we have the tables which we can refer for standard normal distribution, but we don't have the tables which we can refer for this. We have the tables which we can refer for this. That's why we have converted it into this distribution where 500 becomes 0. This 12 became 1. Earlier 488 was falling on this one division exactly here. Now it is falling exactly here.
So can you please take an example where it is not exactly -1 when we are converting and it is something like
So
-1?
take 490. Take 490. So 490 minus 500 divided by 12. It is minus 8 by 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Minus
What is the
10
value of minus 8 by 12?
minus 10 by 12.
0.6, sir.
0.6.
Yes, sir. 0.66.
It is 0.6.
Yes. Minus.
Now
0.
it will fall somewhere here. This value.
Minus 0.6. Okay.
Because here it is minus 1.
Okay. Yes. Now it will be falling between mean 0 and -1.
Minus 1
Yes.
deviation.
Yes,
Now I
yes.
need to find the area till here,
Till the right side.
because I want to find the number of people who will score more than 490 marks.
More than 490. Okay. Yes.
That's
Yes.
the thing.
Yes.
And 490 is falling here.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Now everybody got it, or like somebody has any doubt?
No, sir. Got it.
Okay.
So means
Now for-
so you mean to say we are going to find the area from the right side of the graph?
From the right side of the graph.
Yes.
If
Okay.
it is on the left side, the area is less. This area is, if the area to the left of this will be less than 0.5,
Yes.
the area to the this will be more than 0.5.
Yes.
The value came as 0.6,
6.
0.6. Now I'll say
And also, sir, we have to find more than 490. That is why also we are finding the right. If we had to find less than 490 marks, then we had to go for the left side of the graph. Right, sir?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So on the basis of Z table, we can find the area of the body.
Sorry, come again.
On the basis of G table, we can
Yeah, yeah.
find the area of body.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the image is blur. Let me go to this all. Under normal Z table, I'll say. What is the value? Point
6.6.
Minus
0.6,
0.6.
0.66
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, sir. 0.666.
So the value is 0.25463. Okay. Okay. Just give me a
So
second.
what we got
Sir,
when
No, no,
we
just
get
give me a
this
second.
value?
Just give me a second. Just let me find it.
no, sir. Actually, if we are taking 490 minus 500 by 12, then it is, so it is minus 0.83.
The value is 0.83,
Yeah, minus 0.833.
0.833.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the value, if it is coming as 0.833, then it will be 80123. This 20 something.
Sir, how do you find this, sir? Can you please
What is the,
teach?
what is the value? 0.833.
0.83. Yes, sir.
So this is 0.8,
Okay.
and over the top you will see 3.
0.8. 0.03.
0.83 is 0.80 plus 0.03.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is
Okay.
the value that we get.
So what
Minus
is the
sign
meaning
also
of
is
this
there.
value?
Huh?
So what is the meaning of this value 2.2327?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So if you'll see the 0.83, it is 0.203, 0.2 something. If I'll see 0.8 here,
0.8. Okay.
it is 80%, nearly 80%. Are you getting
So can you say
Okay.
make minus
this?
0.8 again?
No, be with me. If it is 0.8 on positive side, it is 80% approximately,
Yes.
0.79.
Yes.
If it is on negative side, then it is 20%.
Mm,
Yes.
Yes,
Fine.
yes,
yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So this
Yes, sir.
means area to the right of this is 80%,
Yes.
which
Also.
means 80% of the students. So I'm telling you in a layman, 80% of the students will score more than 490.
Okay.
It gives the probability of the students.
Yeah.
So sir, whenever we have running the Z test, we always check this positive and negative checklist like a table.
Your voice is not audible. Come again.
So whenever we are performing Z test, we always do this positive negative table for references.
Yeah. So whenever, no, not for the Z test. The thing is, whenever you are finding the area under the curve, like what is the probability if a person will score this much marks, provided this data follows a normal distribution, then you will be able to identify by converting it into standard normal curve. You will be able to identify that what will be the, like, how many of the people will be scoring how much of the marks and all these things. Then you will be referring this Z table. Another is the way which I have told you is calculate the p value. If you are not going with the p value and you are doing a statistics by your own, then also this table is referred, but I am not covering that part.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, from the Z table, we came to know that our minus 0.83 is 20% probability approx. No.
So this says that here it lies, wherever the value is. Now I've calculated where the value is. To the left of it, it is 20%. To the right of it, it's 80%.
So sir, while we are looking at the table, we should see the sign, na? Minus plus देखेंगे ना? और नहीं देखेंगे?
Yeah, that's the thing I've told you. That's the thing. If you are seeing minus sign, then you will say the probability if you calculate to the right hand side, whatever. So if you see the minus 0.83, the value that you have seen minus 0.83, minus 0.83, it is
Yeah.
coming
20.
21%. Let's say now
Yeah.
21%.
Hmm.
21. So you will say 1 minus 20, 100 minus 21. That you, in case you're seeing the negative value, then you say 100 minus 21. If you're seeing a positive value, that is 80, that is automatically coming in.
Sir, not getting, sir. This part only I'm not getting that.
So we got the value point. Okay, we got the value 0.20,
Yes.
0.21 here. So this means area to the left of this is 21%. Okay. Now, if you need to calculate area to the right, what you will do is 1 minus this area,
1 minus
100
this
minus this area.
Yes, yes.
Okay. If you'll do by this, then you don't need to calculate minus. It will say it is 80%.
So when we will see 0.8, sir? When the output is coming as 0.8, then only we will see it, no?
No, don't worry. You always see -8 and do this calculation. If I'll tell this, you will be like people will be confused. So you see -8 calculation. It is 20%. If it
Yes.
is to the left, then you can just deduct it by 1. Else, if you want to see it over the right, sorry, if you see over the right, then you deduct it with 1 or 100. If you want to deduct, if you want to see on the left hand side, then just say 21%.
Yeah, sir, that I understood that what you said is just now that minus 0.8 is giving as minus suppose 21. So it is area to the left of the side. Means
Yeah.
so you mean to say 20% people will be scoring less than 490.
Yeah, 20, 21, whatever it's.
Okay.
Yes.
And but we want to get more than, so we will subtract 1 minus to whatever the
Yes.
value is, and we will find whatever more is.
Yes.
If we had gotten the positive values, then also
Don't
the
don't
same
don't,
procedure.
don't yeah, it's the same procedure, but the calculation is different. Don't go by the positive value. Just go with whatever value is coming. If it is positive or negative, just go by the way that you remember just now.
Okay. Matlab, we have to say 1 minus to whatever it is.
If it is on the right side, then it is 1 minus. If it is to the left side, then it is that.
What you said right now, I do not understand. I understood what.
So if you're saying to the right side, this area,
Yes.
then you deduct it from 1.
Yeah, we get the right side.
If you get 1 to value on the left hand side, then that will be that value. You don't have to deduct anything.
Whatever we are
thing.
getting from the Z table.
Yes.
Okay.
This is just an example, a layman example. I have not done the calculation correctly. It is -8, -6, whatever it is, but I've just told you the way.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any doubt? So any doubt for the things that we have covered till now? Say what is say pandas, what is NumPy? NumPy I have not covered. What is group by? Anything which you want to ask, you can ask.
Sir, the lambda function for factorial.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
Okay. Let me open the Jupyter notebook.
Sir, so what is the answer of this question? The probability of scoring more than 490. It is 1 minus
80%.
whatever we got from the table.
79, whatever percentage.
Okay.
80%.
Just calculate
81.
it correctly, because I've not done the calculation, like what the exact value is coming and all the things. That just do the calculation correctly, and this is the way.
Okay.
So okay. So the thing that we have covered yesterday was the factorial part. So the lambda function. Okay. So actually I have not covered the lambda function in detail. So major of the if I'll cover it like for the factorial, if I'll convert, most of the people will have doubts, but I will be telling you these, so I'm just jumping on the concepts. Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir. Sir, also
So,
can you please show the program to write the prime number, sir?
so these are the things basically you need to try by your own, and if you'll see over the net, these programs are freely available, and you can access it from there. And in case any of the thing that is not, in case you are stuck with any of the thing in that program, then I will be able to tell, because if I'll write the programs for the different things, then the entire class, say on Monday, Tuesday, whatever, will go in that only. We have to cover a lot in this, so I can give you an idea about that, but major the programs you need to write by your own. And in case you are stuck in any of the things, then you can come up in the doubt session.
Actually, I have written, but it is not clear.
Yeah, then you can show, tell your code to me, and I will find what is the error.
No, no, sir. Actually,
But
it is running, but I saw it from the net only. It is running, but I did not understand the logic.
okay, I'll tell you. Just give me a second. What is, where is the factorial thing that we have made? So this is the thing that we made. Okay. So now I'll say lambda. Say I'll take any name. I'll take, say, Z, whatever it is. So it will be a combination of 2-3 lambda functions. First is it will be asking for so it will be asking for lambda az, and it will go to the number that is to the end. I'll say a comma b. I'll say uh, b is the value that I've been passing. B multiplied by a. A is the end. I'll say till a comma b minus 1 if, I guess that's it. Now I'll say f equal to, I'm trying, guys, just give me. Okay, I need to pass d here. So may 3,1. Okay. To say a, say b. over say 3 I'll convert it into a lambda A lambda A just think guys, let me think guys. This F will become A and this A will become F. Now so whenever we use 4 in the lambda, I guess we need to also use the recursive functions, but let me test. So it will be so one of the example is I can use lambda A multiply factorial. I will explain this factorial. Minus 1 F I will define this factorial. LCZ Z with me.
No, could you explain it, sir?
Got it? Did you get it?
Could you explain the code? I mean, trace the code.
So I said A into A minus 1 if A greater than 0, greater than 1, else 1. So same is the code that we have written here. So I was getting that thing. So I said So I said it starts from 1. So here what I've said, what we have said is, so here we have said a. So whenever the user passes a value, that's 5, it will go from a negative side. A into a minus 1, 5 into 4, it will keep on iterating till the time it is not 1, else it will be 1. And so 5 will be 5 minus 4, and then again this 4 will be 3, 2 and 1, and it will keep it on multiplying it with 8 till the time 1 is reached. So here we have done it on the increment basis, here we have done it on the decrement basis. So a into a minus 1, if a greater than 1, else 1. So now every time a is, so the value that I passed is 5. So this 5 will be 5 into 4 because a greater than 1. So 5 into 4, then it is 4 into 3, then into 3 into 2, then it to 2 into 1, and it became 20. So that's the thing, like I have not explained the lambda function fully. So because whenever we make a lambda function, what will happen is the simple lambda function that we have covered here is this b. Now this y, the name of the function is the thing I have written here, lambda b. B is the thing, the argument which I have been passing. I'll say b plus 10, the body becomes b plus 10. So here as well, this thing a that I've been passing will become the a here, and the body was I was incrementing, so I have not explained the for loop here. So a into a minus 1 if a greater than 1. So this will keep on iterating till the time it is 1. That's the thing I have written here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So the thing is, once we see the lambda function in detail, I will be covering it with these things. So even for me as well, if I do, I need to first recall it what I've been doing. I make 1 or 2 times iterations which I do by my own. Then only I will be able to achieve. So here I have been doing some different thing, but it was not achieving. So here as well, so we need to basically revise or basically work on these lambda functions in detail. I'll be covering these lambda functions in detail in the subsequent sessions. Then you will be able to make it out clearly. Because till now we have already discussed, say, this part where a simple lambda function is being made. This b will become the lambda, and b plus 10 will become the body, will become the beta. But what will happen if it is a loop? So it happens, if it happens in a loop, then first the looping condition will come, followed by if, then it will be the thing. So that's the thing which I still need to explain you guys. So if the body is a loop, then we need to write it like this. So this is the thing that I have not explained. I will explain it to you guys, like how the loop will be treated in lambda and all other things. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir. So can you please tell me which topic you covered yesterday?
Yesterday we have covered functions and a bit of group by, Python group by, pandas group by.
Sir, could you brief about group by?
So the group by is basically, so in case you want to have a detailed thing over group by, you can see the recordings, but I will tell you a group by is basically an aggregation function. When we say aggregation function, it looks like this. So we have a small data frame that is a location and sales. Okay. This is a location A, B, C, A, D, B. Sales is 100, 200, 300, 230, 120, 231, whatever it is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, when I say df1 dot group by and I pass location, so location is this value. This is the location. I'll say mean. So it will group these locations on the basis of their mean. A will have the mean 100 and 230. It will come somewhere around 160. So this will give the value of A as 160, 165, whatever it is. B, C, D. It has grouped all the data and calculated the mean out of it for the sales. So the detailed of the group by on the data frame and all the things are being mentioned in this notebook along with the recordings that are there. You can refer those, and these are things that are mentioned in detail.
Yeah, sir, got it. So basically, first you group the location which has the same name, and then after grouping, you can add any aggregate function like mean
Yeah,
or
aggregate function. Yeah,
median
you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any doubt? Anybody? Any doubt? Yeah, so somebody was saying that they were getting some error with one of the Fibonacci problem, or sorry, prime number problem.
Sir, I will look into it. I'm doing some indentation errors, sir.
Yeah. Please go through that. And in case you are writing any of the programs, so this is all about logics. So whenever you're writing any of the program, just iterate that program for 2-3 times and all the thing. And if that thing is not clear, then I will let you know.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So in case we don't have any doubt, so can we drop off?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.